Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're embarking on a truly timeless journey. I actually invite you to just take a slow, deep breath and settle in for a moment, because we're about to explore some of the most profound, deeply comforting wisdom ever recorded. As someone who spends a lot of time breaking down ancient texts, I'm just endlessly fascinated by how knowledge from thousands of years ago can speak so directly to exactly what we're going through today. Today, we're diving deep into the concept of the eternal soul, and we'll be guided by the beautiful, timeless teachings of Sakhya Yoga. So, let's dive into this together.
I want to start by simply sharing the ancient Sanskrit verse that really forms the foundation of our entire exploration today. Just listen to the rhythm of these words for a second. Dehino smin yata dehe, komaram yuvanam jara, tata dehantara prapti, diras tatra namuhyati. Let's just pause for a moment. Let the resonance of that ancient wisdom really settle in.
Section 1. The Eternal Soul. Sakhya Yoga, or Transcendental Knowledge.
Okay, so this incredible verse we just heard comes straight from chapter 2, verse 13 of the Bhagavad Gita, and it sits squarely within the teachings of Sakhya Yoga. Now, if you're familiar, Sakhya Yoga is essentially the pursuit of transcendental knowledge. It's the analytical study of the material world and the spirit. It's all about looking right past the temporary surface of our everyday lives and uncovering the permanent, unchanging reality underneath it all. Let's look at what this verse actually means in plain language. In English, it reads, "Just as boyhood, youth, and old age come to the embodied soul in this body, so too does the soul pass into another body at death." And for our viewers who read the language, we have the incredibly poetic Hindi translation right here too. What I love about this is its universal clarity. The text doesn't use these incredibly complex, hard-to-grasp metaphors to explain the soul. Instead, it uses the most common, undeniable human experience there is, just the simple act of growing older.
Section 2. Life's Natural Stages, the Progression of the Physical Body.
To really grasp the depth of this knowledge, we first have to point to the visible reality of our daily existence. Notice how striking this timeline is when we look at these actual photographic phases of life. We start over here with phase 1, boyhood or childhood, known as Kamaram. Then we seamlessly transition into phase 2, youth and adulthood, or Yavanam. And finally, we arrive at phase 3, old age, known as Jara. It's wild when you really think about how fluid this is, right? When you were a kid, that body felt entirely like you. When you grew into a young adult, the child's body was literally gone, replaced by a new one, and yet you remained the exact same person inside. The physical form changed completely, but the observer behind your eyes, the soul, was just a constant witness to the whole shebang.
Section 3. The Final Transition. Moving beyond the current body.
Which brings us to a really profound realization. Think about it. If the embodied soul is already so incredibly accustomed to changing forms, from a toddler to a teenager to an elder, what happens when the physical body reaches its absolute limit? Well, the wisdom of the Gita asks us to make a logical leap, moving beyond the current body entirely. The crucial point here is understanding this term, transmigration, or in Sanskrit, dehantara prapti. The definition we're working with is the soul's passage into another body at death. But here is the massive shift in perspective. It is viewed not as an abrupt, terrifying end, but simply as a natural continuation. It's fundamentally no different than aging. Just as you didn't mourn the loss of your 5-year-old body when you turned 20, the soul simply steps out of one worn-out garment and slips into another. It's literally just the next natural step in a much longer, eternal journey.
Section 4. Wisdom without delusion, the perspective of the wise.
When you truly internalize this concept, it absolutely alters how you view existence. Let's look at how this ancient knowledge completely reframes our mindset. The verse concludes with this incredibly empowering statement. A wise person is not deluded by this. Diras tatra namuyati. The word delusion here refers to that false belief that we are nothing more than our physical bodies. When we identify entirely with the body, its inevitable decline brings us immense suffering. But a wise person, someone who's cultivated this transcendental knowledge, understands the distinction between the temporary body and the eternal soul. Fully grasping this removes a tremendous, heavy burden of fear right off our shoulders.
Section 5. The Modern Aging Problem, our Contemporary Anxiety. Let's bring this ancient philosophy right up to the present minute, because we live in a society that is practically built on anxiety regarding time and physical appearance. Ask yourself, why do we fear aging and mortality so deeply today? Why is there a multi-billion-dollar industry dedicated solely to hiding wrinkles, dyeing gray hair, and pretending that we just aren't getting older? We treat aging like it's a disease to be cured rather than a natural season of life. And we are gripped by this profound dread because somewhere along the line we lost touch with the concept of the eternal self. We've stuffed all of our identity into a temporary physical vessel.
Section 6. A timeless solution. Ancient wisdom for modern anxiety.
But hey, this explainer isn't just about pointing out our societal anxieties, right? It's about offering a profound remedy. What we find in Sakhya Yoga is a timeless solution that is perfectly tailored for our modern anxieties. Just look at how revolutionary the Gita's perspective is when we put it side by side with our current mindset. On the one hand, we have the modern lifespan problem, this deep fear of aging, viewing death as an absolute, terrifying end, and a total obsession with physical preservation. Now, contrast that with the Gita's perspective. Aging isn't a failure. It's a natural, expected progression. Death isn't some black void. It's simply a transition, a doorway to a new body. And rather than obsessing over preserving a temporary shell, the focus shifts entirely to nurturing the eternal, unchanging soul. It's a complete paradigm shift that replaces fear with profound, lasting understanding.
So, what should you really take away from all this? The core message is beautifully simple. Peace is found in acceptance of the natural journey. True comfort doesn't come from desperately fighting the clock or agonizing over the passage of time. True comfort comes from stepping back, recognizing your true identity as an eternal observer, and trusting the natural, continuous journey of the soul.
I want to leave you with this final thought to reflect upon today. If the soul simply changes bodies like it changes ages, what is there to fear in the passage of time? Just imagine navigating your life with that level of fearlessness and clarity. I really hope this exploration of Sakhya Yoga has brought you a sense of warmth and peace today. May this ancient wisdom inspire you, comfort you, and encourage you to continue seeking the profound truths of your own eternal journey. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.
Get ancient wisdom and infinite guidance, anywhere, anytime. Visit sanathan.app today. Start your spiritual journey now.